The sun had barely risen over the cornfields of rural Nebraska when Jacob Miller laced up his old work boots, grabbed a slice of toast, and jogged out the door. His family's small farm had been in decline for years, and with his father recovering from surgery, the burden had fallen on Jacob's 16-year-old shoulders. Every morning before school, he fed the cows, checked the water lines, and helped his mum with chores. By the time he got to school, he was usually exhausted, but he never complained. Jacob walked into Green Valley High, trailing a bit of dried mud on the freshly waxed hallway floor. A couple of kids snickered as he passed. "Hey, farm boy, you lose your tractor," one of them called out. Jacob ignored them. He was used to it. His clothes didn't come from fancy stores, and his backpack had a torn strap held together with duct tape. But he was smart. Smarter than most of the kids who mocked him. He just didn't show it off. That morning he realized he had forgotten to bring the permission slip for next week's science field trip. Mrs. Lentz, his teacher, shook her head and sent him to the principal's office again. Principal Harrison didn't even look up when Jacob stepped in. "Sit," he said, flipping through a file. Jacob sat down across from him, nervous but composed. "Sir, I forgot the field trip form. I was up late helping my mom. My dad's still recovering from—" "Stop!" Harrison said sharply. "I'm tired of your excuses, Jacob. Every time it's something with your family or the farm. This is a school, not a therapy session." Jacob swallowed hard, his cheeks flushing red. "I'm doing my best." "Well, your best isn't good enough," Harrison snapped. "You're constantly late, your assignments are incomplete, and now this. I've spoken to your teachers. They say you're not focused." Jacob sat quietly. He wanted to argue, to explain, to make the principal see the full picture, but what was the point? Harrison sighed dramatically and pulled a form from his drawer. "This school is for students who are preparing for the real world. College, careers, leadership. Frankly, I don't see where you fit in here." He circled a section on the paper and placed it in front of Jacob. "You're being expelled. Effective immediately." Jacob's breath caught. "Wait, you're expelling me over a permission slip?" Harrison folded his hands. "Over a pattern of behavior. You don't belong here, Jacob. Maybe you're better off helping out on the farm full time." Jacob rose slowly from the chair. He didn't say anything. He didn't trust himself to speak. He walked out of the office, past the secretary who avoided eye contact, and straight through the front doors without looking back. Outside, the wind cut across the empty fields as he started the long walk home. That evening, Jacob didn't mention the expulsion to his mom or dad. He just went out to the barn, fixed a broken latch on the chicken coop, and stacked firewood. He worked until his arms were sore and his clothes smelled of hay and sweat. Inside the house, his mom warmed up leftover stew. "Everything okay at school?" Jacob nodded without hesitation. "Yeah, just a normal day." He ate in silence, then disappeared into his room. While the rest of the town slept, he opened his laptop and worked on a side project he'd been developing for months, a set of code that could help automate drone flight in agricultural spaces. He didn't know if anyone would ever see it, but that night Jacob still believed hard work mattered, even when no one else seemed to notice. The following morning, the students of Green Valley High arrived to a strange sight. Dozens of people gathered near the football field, teachers whispering, and a deep, rhythmic thumping sound overhead. As heads turned upward, a sleek black helicopter descended from the sky, the wind from its blades kicking up dust and papers. The chopper bore a silver logo on its side, CainTech Industries, one of the largest tech firms in the country. The helicopter landed with precision in the middle of the school field, and out stepped a tall, sharp-dressed man wearing a dark-tailored suit and sunglasses. He was flanked by two assistants and walked with unmistakable purpose. The whispers turned into murmurs of recognition. "That's Robert Cain," the student muttered. "The billionaire?" Principal Harrison came rushing out of the building, fixing his tie and trying to appear composed as he walked toward the commotion. His voice cracked slightly as he greeted the man. "Mr. Cain, we weren't expecting—" Robert Cain interrupted calmly. "I'm here to see Principal Harrison." I'm Harrison," he replied. Cain removed his sunglasses, his eyes stern and focused. "I'm looking for a student named Jacob Miller. Is he here?" Harrison blinked, clearly caught off guard. "Jacob Miller? He's not a student here anymore." "Why not?" Harrison shifted uncomfortably. "Well, due to ongoing behavioral concerns and underperformance, we had to remove him from the school yesterday." Cain's expression turned sharp. "Let me get this straight. You expelled a student who just last month solved a major problem in my company's drone software." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Cain continued, "Jacob sent an email directly to my company, out of the blue, with a line of code that fixed a bug our engineers had spent weeks trying to solve. He didn't ask for money or recognition. He just wrote, 'I noticed this problem. I thought this might help.' That's a level of brilliance and humility we rarely see." Harrison opened his mouth, then closed it again. Robert turned to the students, the staff, the cameras now filming everything. "Jacob Miller is exactly the kind of mind this country should be nurturing. So, while your school failed to see his value, I didn't. I've come here today to personally offer him a full scholarship to any STEM school he wants, and I've already spoken to a few universities. His future is wide open." A hush fell over the crowd. Robert added, "And as of today, CainTech will be setting up a scholarship fund in Jacob's name for other rural students with talent and no platform." He turned back to Harrison. "Maybe next time don't judge a kid by the mud on his boots." With that, Robert Cain walked back to his helicopter and lifted off, leaving stunned silence in his wake. Miles away on the Miller family farm, Jacob was in the barn, fixing a loose belt on the old hay baler. His phone rang from inside the house. Moments later, his mom rushed out, breathless. "Jacob, you need to come see this." He followed her inside, confused. On the living room TV, local news stations were broadcasting the event live. Helicopter footage, Robert Cain's speech, interviews with shocked students. His name was on the screen. Jacob stood frozen, eyes wide. His father put a hand on his shoulder, tears in his eyes. "You did good, son. Real good." Jacob smiled for the first time in days. Not because he was famous, not because of the scholarship, but because someone had finally seen him for who he truly was. A quiet kid with muddy boots, a sharp mind, and a heart full of determination.